What's going on, Nanas? You know it's your boy Turley Ascendant. Listen, before we get into this video, you already know, like, comment, subscribe, and turn the post notifications on so you know when your boy got some more YT content for you. Also, subscribe to my Twitch as well if you want to catch these technical topics bi-weekly live, and as well as when I hop on some games or whatever and stream for a little bit. You know, the name is the same, but the game don't change. You feel me? So without further ado, let's get into this video. Enjoy, everybody.
Fine. That should be called words.
My goodness, bruh. What happened?
Well, you see, I was watching this great show titled The Back of My Island. And
he was asleep.
It was fantastic.
Oh, man.
I really got distracted watching it.
Oh,
sorry, I just lost
my
track of time.
God.
Hey, what season you left off?
Oh, my God.
What season? I'm assuming season 3.
Facts.
That's a good season.
The Back of My Island season 3, the slept season.
Damn, AJ, I was about to be depressed. I was about to say, damn, AJ gonna miss. I said you could have missed first person shooter, but not RPG day. Not RPG.
Golly, you the punctual one.
He is the punctual one.
Sure was. I was looking at this Discord a whole hour early, like, all right, bro, I'm gonna take a little nap.
A little nap. Golly.
You know what's crazier? I was in bed doing the same thing. The moment I saw Aaron hop in here, I was like, okay, I need to get ready.
That's what Take really be doing. Take be looking and be like, come on, hurry up and just at least get in the call so I don't go to sleep.
I kept passing out for 15 minutes at a time. I was just closing my eyes, wake up, look at my phone, go back to sleep.
Well, then allow me to segue by passing out this welcome to episode 16.
You need to put that in.
episode 16 for role-playing games. Now that we have awoken the sleeping giant, we have acquired all 4 players to begin our descent.
But does he have time to get a drink though?
Not be the support. Not be the support character.
No.
You want to be the support. You want to be the healer.
There are literal 3 nanas in here that would all go for support.
Yeah. Well.
And I'll give you a hint. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I guess you gotta do all of them.
Basically.
Basically, at that. I better not die. My health better not move.
No,
you're not gonna die,
bro.
I'm gonna be like Kirito in that one episode.
Not on us.
I'm gonna be like Kirito in that one episode where a bunch of them just jump him and his health bar don't move.
Listen,
that's how I'm gonna be.
You get one shot, it's not on us.
Oh yeah, it's on y'all. I need some damage.
Yeah, I can't do nothing. Can't do nothing.
You're gonna be one of them crusaders. You're gonna be like a tank healer and pull everything away.
That's actually the role I was long ago.
And now you're a straight up healer on
straight
WoW when you go to straight up. And I'm on my phone.
Yep.
The greatest of passive.
Bruh, doing that on WoW was incredible. That's why WoW was so cool.
Man.
Hit 2 buttons and I'm on Facebook.
Got him. Alright. Well, let's go and get this started on to the first little topic of business.
First off, can we get like how you doing? Like,
no,
I thought did we even get introduced?
Like, did we even get introduced?
F y'all introduction. They know who y'all is.
Dang, that's the introduction.
Wow.
Hey, you asleep?
Wow.
Shut up.
Hey,
Hey,
bro,
look.
All right.
Look.
If you would like to give them the introduction of justice, you are allowed to do so.
Hello.
Oh man. Tony voice. Oh,
My name
man.
is BirdieBrown, and I'm here in this topic. I'm here to talk about RPGs and follow my stream. We stream all the time.
Speaking of restream.
But yeah, all right. I'm ready.
Introduce
Y'all
yourself,
ain't gonna-
stupid.
Y'all just introduce
I forgot. My bad. It's the one and only,
No.
the supportive healer, a.k.a. Little Chubby, a.k.a. Eat Debbie, a.k.a. RahahTheKing. There you go.
First off,
Wow.
I've never been chubby. That's a lot to have.
Right?
That nigga built like a burnt noodle. What the heck?
Wait.
Wow. You gonna roast my nigga like that, bro?
Yes, I have to.
You was gonna roast him like that?
That's why the back of his shins is ashy.
Back of my
Damn.
shins.
Yeah.
I mean, my elbows, maybe. Hey, Sleepy, introduce yourself, yeah.
Well, I'm Sleep.
Wow.
Still Sleep. And
Hi, my name is Sleep.
and I stay slump out here. Nah, it's your boy Shadowfallz. Y'all already know what it is.
Yeah,
Get this thing. Get this thing going.
he's the opposite of that
Play-
Childish
play a
Gambino
stream.
song. He's the opposite of that Childish Gambino song. Now stay asleep.
We ain't staying woke out here.
Always sleeping.
All right, let's begin with a suave definition. What exactly is an RPG?
That's it. What is?
What's a good description?
I think BirdieBrown, the king of RPGs, should take this.
Well, I was gonna give y'all a chance to answer, but okay. RPGs is defined by three things, and three that any video game should have to be even considered an RPG. Main quest or story, mostly quest and side quests. Inventory management and crafting, and character evolution, as far as leveling up your character and boosting your character throughout the game to make them stronger to fight whatever the heck the game's throwing at you. I think those are the main three things that have to be in place for it to be considered an actual RPG.
I never knew that. Makes sense.
How you never? Well, it is you. I understand. That would have. I'm just like you don't really look too deep. You just be playing stuff.
I just be playing stuff, man. I sure didn't look that deep.
That boy H is a gamer.
I don't know, Ninja. If
I
it
don't
looks
give a
cool,
damn.
I'ma play it.
Facts.
Facts. Dude,
Look nice play.
my eyes and a definition of RPG was more or less just you got the characters on there, and then you just leveling them up, and then you just whooping motherfuckers' ass.
Alright.
Shit, I thought that's what it was.
I mean,
Basically,
it's part of it, yeah.
basically, you got a
That was really it for me.
you got a basically a definition on that. So let's start with
Look at AJ's.
that Ninja was muted.
Yeah. It's fine by me. No, I said, why don't BirdieBrown take the definition?
That Ninja-
I'm good with anything you say.
You just
Usually,
started off.
usually when he does that, that means he's saving his voice for something else where he can really go in. Usually,
All right.
Master Tony voice. So these points aren't going to be in the same order. I put them in the wrong order, but let's start
What are
with
the points?
they should be in the Discord.
I see it.
All right, we're just going to start with this point here. What makes a good RPG? What makes it good, specific?
Makes it good.
Actually, you know what? We won't even start there. Let's talk about the different types of RPGs.
Ooh, you got action RPGs. You got shooter RPGs. You got shit. That's about the only
MMORPGs.
You got
MMORPG.
MMORPG.
You got JRPG.
What? We'll go to it. I'll jump on that later. JRPG.
We do have Western versus Eastern.
Facts. That's why I said I'm gonna wait on that one. But it is a lot of types.
There are. Luckily, that a lot of games now all have elements of RPG.
RPG. Yeah, that's true.
Like almost every game now has some type of character leveling or some type of level progression system in it.
You got sports RPGs.
Sports
RPG?
I mean, technically, the creating your character in 2K is kind of sort of.
I was about to say, I guess it technically is.
I mean, does it have a? I guess it does
have RPG elements.
System.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing it probably lack is a deep
main quests,
main quests and items. But other
main
than that,
quest
it has
get to the league and win.
Facts. If you think about it like that,
main quests and side quests.
That's the only thing that'd be lacking.
You can count. I'd count it.
I think it's
NFL Street too.
I was about to say that too, Aaron. I was going to say, does NFL Street 2 count? Because it has some mean side quests in that mug.
It was to get to exhibit.
Facts.
It definitely has RPG elements, but I wouldn't call it in itself an RPG. But I can.
The story is kind of very one-dimensional. It's just let's play some football and get good.
Ain't that usually the story for those kind of games?
For the most part.
Play, get good.
Get good, win.
So that's what I'm saying. So in a sense, like you said, all games essentially have RPG elements in it. I mean, there's only a few.
They have elements. They might not be specifically considered an RPG as a whole.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have the elements.
Like Last of Us. Like it has the RPG element of crafting and an inventory system, but you wouldn't call it just an RPG.
It'd be a third-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that mainly because that's not the primary focus of the game, and that's not the reason we play it.
We come to see that story.
Yeah.
I mean,
what about those?
Adventure.
What about those movie games like Until Dawn or Life is Strange, or what about those?
Those are usually story-driven. Just story. It doesn't really have a level or main quest or side quest or any type of inventory system. So it's just like a story-driven game. It's just story-driven.
I thought those was RPGs too.
But a game like Life is Strange has an inventory system, which is also just like Until Dawn, which is a story-based game, but a story-driven game.
Yeah, it's kind of a thin line between actually being an RPG specifically, like hard, like this is your first classification, and just having a lot of elements designed in there, like they were saying, all the crafting, and you may not necessarily have levels. It's just kind of like you just get a better weapon, and you don't really have to do anything to it. It's just a good weapon, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, would you consider Call of Duty an RPG? Like, even though it has like a leveling and progression system, like you just
that's not even part of the story.
Right. But like, you wouldn't even consider Call of Duty just an RPG. You really just consider it a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So, what kind of cough was that?
Sorry.
That was an interesting cough.
Sound like he was chucking up some bullshit.
Nasty. So, what makes an RPG good?
Hearts 2? My bad.
He said Kingdom Hearts 2.
What the flip?
and all 15 of the handheld versions. Yeah.
This was making.
Hey, first off, that handheld. First off,
I guess what makes a RPG great. Actually, what is a great RPG? Which one is a? I mean,
Dark Souls is a good RPG.
Okay, so because
Dark
all of them are
Souls is extremely popular and good RPG.
Yeah, but that's good for a different reason. Wouldn't most RPGs, the better ones, or like
It's
the
good
best
for
ones?
it's good for the main reasons are anybody would want to play a standard RPG, or at least a Western one.
It's because of how
It's discovery,
honestly,
inventory, bosses, and
honestly, Dark Souls is probably more RPG than most RPGs. Just because, like, in a lot of RPGs, there's like a set path you're supposed to take, and in Dark Souls, you straight up do not have to follow that path. Like, I know from experience, well, not experience, but from watching Kyle play, and he can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but there are certain spots, well, Tank too, because he played all of them, but there are certain spots in a lot of those games that are made by the same people, I think, where you can straight up skip several bosses if you know the path to take or specifically what to do.
you could, yeah. It's not completely defined by. You are given a main objective, but it's not set in stone how to get there. So you can, like he said, you can literally take a strict path to skip bosses and get to the end if you want to. But
it's
like not set.
It's like you're starting here. Here's where you need to get. Do it.
I think the best way to start, what makes a good RPG, is kind of like, I guess this is my Western brain here, but like expression and player choice. Like, I think what makes a good RPG is how well you can get the player to make their own story and kind of figure out what they want to do on their own without actually giving them a set path to go on.
Dark Souls is good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
See, I'm used to, for me, I guess you could say the better RPG is more just like how, I guess more or less like the end game. Like the crafting and the items that you get and how crazy your team can get. Because I played some JRPGs and one of them was like Valkyrie Profile 2. Whoo, shit. It was one end game where you had to do like 100 levels. Whoo, boy, each level just got worse and worse, and the items you gotta craft and stuff would just get, ooh, boy, it get ignorant quick. There's
another RPG that you also gotta think of, and that's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pokemon is 100% an RPG.
It is. I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah, you gotta raise the Pokemon. You go to be the best, man. Like one of, if not arguably, one of the biggest, super huge freaking franchises ever made. Yeah, extremely high. I think. Well, a lot of it for me is. I think, at least when I play an RPG, it's how the grind game works.
So essentially, like me too.
Like grind, because depending on how you have to grind, it can just not be fun, right? It's like the difference between grinding in Division and Destiny.
Oh boy!
Yeah, like I can sit there and grind in Destiny. I get my weapons and I'm just having fun blowing stuff up and wave clearing or popping things with this cool weapon, or or like in Division you just sitting there hiding. I'ma shoot a little bit. Here's a turret, does some stuff. Shoot a little bit and you just take forever and just it depends on what kind of grind game you enjoy.
True.
Like I think that's a really heavy thing, and arguably, well, obviously, story is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like if the story sucks, then it's like playing a show, right? Like RPGs are basically like you're playing a show, but
like
you are the main character more or less. And if the show ends badly, I'm pissed off. This game is automatically trash.
Yeah.
Like, and if it starts bad, I'm like, this is boring as hell. This game is trash.
Most RPGs usually start off pretty slow and boring, don't they? Though.
Boy, hell no.
In the middle of it, yeah, because the point is to level your character. You know, you don't just, unlike regular story games where you just go to a place and then you're just automatically ready for the next story piece.
Like it has
Most RPGs, you gotta get ready. You know, you gotta farm some more. You gotta fight and level up. You gotta get the right materials. You gotta get the materials to craft a stronger thing. All right, now you leveled up your character. Okay, now you can go over here and fight this guy.
Yeah,
like Monster Hunter.
A lot of the RPGs that I found interesting usually start with shock value, maybe like something to really just say, oh snap, I gotta find out what's gonna happen next. Or it may start just interesting. They'll do something different, or they may have a mechanic that you're not used to seeing and you'll be like, oh, that's pretty interesting, let me find out more about this. And then you might keep playing because of that. And then, like Tank said, the mid game is where you really start to have to grind, right? By mid game, usually you have a decent grasp of the game, so you kind of understand what you want to really do or how you really want to play the game. And then you get to the end, like you said, the end game, and then it's like, okay, well, now that I've beaten it, now I know all this other stuff I could have done, which gives an RPG something else that I think that makes it good is replay value, right? Yeah. Like, I went this way this time, let me go back through and try this build using magic strictly or something, or now let me go back through and do like a straight tank build to see how long I can just sit in front of a boss and just not take damage.
True. I mean, yeah.
Shadow!
Well, y'all doing a great job.
Hey, talk. I need words. Speak words.
Yeah, he lied. That boy out here sleep, bro.
I'm really not. I'm not here listening. I'm like, dang. Like,
well, speak words, fam.
Right, bro.
Speak words. What you like in RPGs? What you think makes them good?
I mean, I'm just mimic everything y'all said, man. The progression is the biggest thing for me. Like, it's like, I think it was H who had said it, like, you know, how ignorant can my character get?
Right. You play Shin, what's that, Megami Tensei, whatever it is?
SMT?
No. I haven't played SMT.
Tales of Arise, though?
I haven't played I haven't played any of those actually.
Dang.
I've just seen them, know about them. I played Xenoblade. Before.
I played Persona 5.
I have not.
I think I'm the only person here who has won through Persona 5.
I've never owned Persona 5. I know. It's why I have Persona 5 Strikers sitting next to me and I can't play it because supposedly it continues on from the story of Persona 5. I gotta finish an 100-hour game before I can get to the side game. So,
Did you buy that?
I did, because I
thought
I didn't know that it continued the story. I'm like, dang.
I was going to say because it's free on PS.
Any of the Fire Emblems?
Oh,
I play Fire Emblem. Well, I played the most famous one, Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh yeah,
which one is Awakening?
Ike.
No, that's with Crom.
Is it not Ike?
No, Crom is no. Ike is.
Oh, I'm thinking Path of Radiant. I thought that was the most famous one.
No, Awakening is the one that put like Fire Emblem into like the mainstream.
I know you played Xenoblade Chronicles.
Ow?
Awakening is the one where they go back in time, don't they?
Yeah.
And they start having kids.
No. It's they go into the future.
Oh, they go into the future.
Because that's where Lucina comes and finds.
Yeah. Ike is also in that one too. Ike is in that game also. Yeah, you have to unlock him. You have to unlock him a certain point. Because that was another reason why I almost didn't get that game. I was like, I'm not getting it unless I get in mud.
All JRPG?
You are a freaking John ass.
The hell?
Yeah, Awakening made it big in the West. It was kind of niche before. Gotcha. Smash tried to put it on the map.
I mean,
That's
Smash is the
really
reason
why
any of
freaking.
us- That's why it came to the West in the first place.
Yeah. Smash was that attempt to actually get Marth and Roy out there so they could be like, hey, check out Fire Emblem.
These are games. Play it.
Yeah. Do it. It's fun, I promise. I didn't just
Fire
make this
Emblem.
up.
I know you've never heard of it before.
Facts. It did its job though. Did its job very well. I definitely think we're missing one of, if not the biggest part of what makes an RPG good. I can't think of a single RPG that is good without good characters.
Oh, that's just a given.
I know an
No,
RPG.
Step
that
one,
doesn't
have
really
cloud in
that
it. Get out.
interesting.
Step one, oh Lord Jesus!
Step one half cloud in it.
Hey, man, look, you
I
consider
bet.
Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, hey,
Or
Yeah.
you can have,
step one.
or you can have lightning female cloud.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a surefire way to make your game instantly not good.
Hey, everybody like lightning, fam. They just
No.
didn't like her game.
I think that is so not true.
Disrespect.
They were so
Quite a
sick of
bit,
seeing
actually.
lightning by the end of the third game.
Why the F
Oh,
weren't
nah,
y'all
shit.
bitches following me before? I have an issue with that.
She didn't need 3 games. I didn't say all that. I'm just saying, like, people like lightning.
hold on,
but she
I'm
didn't
mad.
need 3.
Noctis is better.
I'm mad. How the F
what?
both of y'all just
Right.
now freaking
Hey,
following
you
me,
right.
bruh?
What
As of
happened?
like an hour ago. How 2 of my closest friends just now following me? What the F is that, bro?
Same reason you followed me during the last one. Moving on.
I followed you before then. I just unfollowed and followed you again so I could see my name pop up.
Wow. That's a new level.
Someone said I want to see my name pop up on somebody else's stream. Look, I'll follow real quick.
But the characters though.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
characters are extremely important.
I don't. It
Assassin's
depends.
Creed Valhalla has Balsam in it, so obviously you don't need good characters.
Oh,
Listen, okay. It's an action adventure with RPG. Listen.
listen.
Listen. We don't talk about it.
But that is true because it's a lot of.
Warframe?
I'm sure it's a lot of games in general, RPG games.
There's a lot
in
of
general.
characters in Warframe that I just don't care about.
Wolfram has cool characters though.
Yeah, sure.
There's a character for everybody.
Because if you go on PSN right now or Xbox or whatever you have, if you go and look at the RPG games they have on there and look at the characters, you're gonna be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Nah, I'm good. It's too many females in this one for me.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute.
There are a lot of
Sometimes that'd be the whole cast. It's just nothing but girls.
oh yeah, there are a lot of harems, a lot of
I'm
provocative.
gonna click on RPG. First thing I see is Bound by Love. Ooh.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
That don't
Sounds
sound
like
like a good game.
That sounds like an S&M game.
Facts.
Bound by Love. Uh huh.
Oh,
Sounds
man.
yeah. Wait, what's
S&M.
S&M?
Slave and Master, I believe.
Oh God.
Or Submission and I forget what it actually is, but it's that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Steam Moonlighter is $5.
What the F?
That is true. Some RPGs is just again.
They can be quite interesting, but that just goes that it's hard to make a good RPG.
That's true. I still think the main thing of RPGs that needs to still be apparent and needs to be the frontal focus is the combat.
Fact.
And I think that
because you're not wrong.
For a long time back in the gap, JRPGs are kind of occupied their own space way back. Like I'm talking like way back in the day. Like late 90s, early to that, like it was kind of their own space as far as like turn-based, because that's kind of what combat wasn't exactly too engaging, since that menu combat was like a thing, but it kind of didn't need to be, since it's kind of the only thing that produced like that kind of narrative. Like that was the thing that made JRPGs like kind of different and good and popular at that time.
We're gonna have to say
was
that
the narrative.
Yeah, pocket that thought for a little bit later, because we gotta. We'll end up talking about arguably the single greatest JRPG ever created. But
Eternal Sonata?
Yeah, not.
He said Bakugan.
Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon. I thought you said Bakugan. I'm like, what?
Oh, no. I mean, Pokemon is taking over the entire planet. And
The Last Remnant?
Hit him. You know what? I'm sending him to the Shadow Realm.
Wait.
I got you. Pandora's Tower.
Alright. Where's the button? Shadow Realm with you. Dang it, I missed.
He said
missed
he missed. I missed.
I missed again. Crap. Okay, I failed.
Yeah.
My powers have halved since the last time
No.
we met.
Removing the JRPGs and stuff, but combat is kind of the forefront of that.
Come back.
Because if you have games with, since combat's going to be the primary focus on the thing you spend the most time doing.
Hey, Toe Senpai.
It's going to be, if it's not engaging, then folk aren't really going to play the game. And if the rewards to overall like time spent playing don't exactly match and the combat's not fun, then you get folk like you get shit like the Destiny loot cave, where if the overall grind and playing the game isn't exactly fun for the overall reward, then folk just try to find the easiest exploit to get the best reward. So I think combat kind of like number one, if not number two.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally don't think combat's that high, only because like most RPGs, well, dipping slightly into it, most RPGs are turn-based anyway, or most of the ones that have like really heavy story are usually turn-based, but that's mostly because they want to keep the focus on the story. And I think you can make a case for combat being pretty high.
I think back in the day, I could see what you're saying, since there was a lot more. Since those turn-based games or RPGs really kind of focused, the ones that focused on narrative and story are the ones that did the turn-based. But now, since almost everything has big RPG elements in it, like it's kind of what, especially Western games. But you know, combat's what keeps the folk actually playing the game.
I think like you can make a case for both. I think combat I think gives replay value, but I think for you to actually stick around and play the game at all, I think you need the story above all else. I think you can make a case for both though.
Combat, story, and crafting. That's what I say.
That kind of goes with combat, no?
Crafting?
Low-key?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, normally when you craft, you're crafting like some type of gear to fight with. I'd say it's a sub. I'd say it's like a subcategory behind like combat.
I think if that's the case, then I think combat's even more important. Because you're gonna need to fight a lot, and that's gonna, like I said, you're gonna be doing that the most in the game to craft and make certain stuff.
That's why I put it in its own category. Because crafting, you could shoot, especially back in the day. Shit, don't fuck around and craft the wrong thing. Your bitch ass started
lost a whole bunch of materials. Dang, I was supposed to save that
story about little Mary Sue down the lane. Like it's emotional and all, but I'm fighting folk in the forest for 14 hours, so her dad's gonna have to wait on the cure that I need to craft to save her father, and that whole emotional story. Like I'm farming for 14 hours straight. Like
especially in Final Fantasy VII, you could mess around and straight up miss some material to craft one of the stronger weapons. And you have to start the whole game in order to do that. I mean, start over the whole game in order to get that back. In the old one. Yeah, man. Them old school.
The past games are not
past
not nice
in
to
general.
you. If you miss something, you be like, you don't even have access to this area anymore. You won't have access to it for another 15 hours.
Like the RPGs today, the RPGs of old taught us, like the RPGs of today can't hide anything from us anymore. They really can't. Because the RPGs of old punished you so hard for not going to check that one breakable pot or just see if it was breakable in the first place. Like I know some of us, we pull up in a room and like, I'm breaking everything in this bit. Like everything is getting broken. Bow, 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 bow. And then you come back and find out there was an achievement that gives you something secret for not breaking anything. Then you like, son of a
game development subverting expectations.
Factoids, literal factoids. But
so that's why I always said it was different, because like Tank says, when you crafting stuff and the fighting is, I mean, like you said, sometimes it's just a grind and you just trying to get that stuff done so you can be stronger for the next mission.
Because that's what you're gonna be spending the most time doing if that's what you're playing. And that story is great, but if that combat, the thing that I'm doing like 80% of the game isn't fun, it's like I don't really want to play.
Yeah.
But I guess it's what you want in the game, you know. So if that's what you went into the game wanting to experience, then you can sit there and sift through the combat if it also is stale for the story. But it's personal what you want out of the game.
I think those two, like I said, go basically hand in hand. Because you need both. You gotta have both if you want it to be good. Because if the combat is really good, but you don't care about the story, you're just like, the story's dumb as heck, I'm gonna stop playing it. But if your story is good and the combat is bad, and it's like, man, I'm done grinding, this is stupid, I'm gonna look this mug up on YouTube. So, like, I feel like you just need both.
Yeah.
And I'd put them on a same plane. You can make a case for either or being more important.
Yeah, it's all what you want to get out of the game.
But if all of those make RPGs good, then what specifically can make an RPG bad? What type of things could make or break an RPG?
I don't think any bad RPGs I actually played.
That's what I'm about to say. Being an Assassin's Creed game, for one, you are so disrespectful.
right, so
Who
first
said that?
off,
Yeah,
You are
Kyle.
mad.
Who said that?
Kyle?
That would be Dr. Potshot Kyle himself.
Oh, that dude.
he said,
Oh,
that
okay.
dude.
Man, let me sit up.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, make him sit up. AC is trash since AC2.
It's okay. You can be wrong.
Dang. I thought Black Flag was supposed to be like one of the best.
It is.
I can't say anything. I didn't play past Assassin's Creed 1.
Now, if he said Unity was trash, at least it started trash. It's a lot of Assassin's Creed games, okay? But those are action adventure.
With RPG elements.
Yeah.
Them new games put both the asses in Assassin.
Oh, y'all over here giggling in the Discord, huh? Y'all some hoes.
I see you.
I can't imagine. I can't think about any RPG that any like dedicated RPG that I've played where I'm like, this is bad. But it's also because
Excuse me,
Even
sir.
if
I
it
only
was-
play good games.
Even if it was like everybody had those RPGs like
I have good taste.
especially like on the PS2, like you might have an RPG that you liked, but it didn't do so well to get like a sequel, or only had just one game. You know what I'm saying?
So
But even then, like at that point in time, it's something that you liked about it that made it good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for the most part, Aaron probably is right. When it comes to a bad RPG, it needs to have either it has to have good combat and
just to say
good. It has to have good combat and good storyline in order to be, good enough for you to play it, because you have to bear both. Even though combat is more or less the main thing you will be doing in an RPG. But the combat can turn somebody away real quick, I guess you can say.
Hey, AC1 did get boring really fast.
It did.
But that's okay, we got AC2.
Bruh.
People don't like Cage because the story is bananas.
People don't like what?
Hey, first off,
Kingdom Hearts.
we're not going to talk about
whoa. Which one?
Kingdom Hearts. Which one? You talking about the console games?
Because I know
I've
I've heard this particular Nona right here say verbatim that Cage 2 is great.
Great.
It's only like
the
two.
story is bananas.
The overall story,
like 2 bad KH games, so he better pick wisely.
You're right. The overall story is weird.
And
It's a weird
KH.
story.
But you're saying that's
Oh yeah.
opinion?
What you gonna say?
I was responding to Kyle's extra. He said it's a popular opinion that the story is bananas. The story does have some whackness in it. Like they do a lot of stuff that's
That don't make it
kind of
bad,
weird.
though. You know?
Well, they just say they don't like the story. I get what he's saying, because the story in KH is not bad. There's just decisions that were made that don't really belong there in some points.
Assassin's Creed is dope. Thank you. Well, yeah.
Dang.
Well, yeah.
I can only agree on certain Assassin's Creeds. There are some Assassin's Creeds.
Oh no, I even say on record.
It caters to trash combat players like me.
I mean, he does play Ganon. My man does play Ganon. Yeah. Got him. But yeah, bad combat will F it up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying before, the whole combat like reward, like time spent or effort put in, like if the combat is overall boring with the rewards that are needed or the payoff that is required to move forward, You get stuff like the Destiny loot cave where folk just either don't want to play or exploit the one easiest thing that they can use to get from point A to point B to level up or whatever they need to do to progress. Like, or even freaking Division where folk do the bare minimum to get what they need and never play the game again.
Dang.
Hey, yo.
I feel like I mean, I could say just generically story, but I'll be specific in saying like the pacing. Right? If you like
Pacing.
the pacing of the game, because like I'll talk about FF15 for this one.
Ooh.
There's
All
a
over the
point
place.
when you get to not even just like in story in general. I think it's chapter 3. Like from chapter 3 to chapter 7 or 8, you are locked. Like you can't change anything or you don't have a chance to do anything. Like you're locked from chapter 3 straight into chapter 7. Like you just go chapter, and then you finally get to a point where you can do stuff. And at that same point, I think that's when you're like in jail or you're like captured or something like that. And you still don't have a chance to like upgrade your stuff until after you get after that. So now you've played 4 to 5 chapters without being able to mess with your gear or anything. It just like takes the control from you. All right. And that's also something that could have gone into what makes an RPG good is how much control do you actually have? Like, what are your options? You know, like we talk about the crafting is a big thing. Like, what can you make? How freeform can you be? Could I just like slap these 2 items together and make some random ass OP potion that helps me grow my plants and at the same time kills this plant specific enemy for free? Or like how creative can you be? Like how much is the world pushed?
Player expression.
Yeah, like the player expression is a really big thing. And if I'm playing a game where I pretty much like imagine like Mass Effect with so few options. Like imagine if something had to die. Yeah, immersion is good for it. Like in Mass Effect, imagine if you had to let people die, right? And like if everybody who's played Mass Effect, the final missions of 2, you can save everybody, but that's not explicitly told to you, but you do have the ability to save everybody in the final suicide mission. And the fact that you could honestly let everybody die or save certain people is very interesting, right? The control that you have over that situation is very powerful. But if this like story is just super one-dimensional, like I have to use this weapon specifically because there's no possible way for me to get a weapon that's powerful enough that I actually want to use to beat this boss, or like Destiny sunsetting weapons to the point where like, dang, this is my favorite weapon and I can't use it anymore because it's not possible enough for me to level it up any further. Like that type of restriction on your control becomes a huge detriment to the game.
That pisses me off, bro. I was thinking, I think it was in Destiny 1, where you literally had to get the same exact fucking gun, except later on, since they didn't have a way for you to level it up to that higher point until they added it later on, bro. You just had to find a better, like the gun you ooh, that irritated me so much. Ooh, just opened up a wound. Ooh, just opened up a wound. I was so excited to get guns in that game, and out of nowhere, boom, It's irrelevant now. Now you need to go freaking now you just picked up a gun that's better than the gun that you were using, but it's the same exact gun that we gave you at the start of the game.
Like, bruh. like dog. I got freaking what was it? The Vex Mytha class. Let me tell you when I got that gun. Finally, I got that gun after Taken King came out.
Bruh.
Well past its expiration date.
Ain't even a gun no more, bruh. Ain't even no point.
Like I was so mad. It was not even funny. And that was running that mug for fun because people were still trying to get some of the old weapons that they could finally level up again. And I was like, man, that's mad disappointing.
I hate it, bro. You telling me this fake ass uncommon gun that I got 50 something hours into the game is better than the freaking exotic I picked up?
How do you guys feel about the grind of RPGs like Dark Souls, for example, or games you could potentially over level?
Again, it's all about player expression. It's not the overall combat in Dark Souls isn't boring. It's actually pretty decently fun, but it's still simple, so the grind isn't overall that bad. But if you could over level, it's fine, because eventually, unless you just straight spam for an ungodly amount of hours, the same, because over leveling is the grind for you trying to over level for the next area is always going to be dependent on how you can get to enemies and kill them. Because if you're at the start of the game, their enemies you are going to either struggle killing, or the ones that you can kill won't have that many souls. Like the standard enemies that you fight and after you leave, say Dark Souls 1, after you leave that freaking, I think it's Undead Asylum, whichever the tutorial place is in Dark Souls 1, enemies don't drop many souls, bruh, and eventually you're gonna need to be killing them over and over and over, going back, leveling up, because then it's gonna take more and more souls to level up your character. So you're gonna be grinding over it like an ungodly amount of time, to the point where it's almost not even worth it. You just go fight the boss, and if you win, you get the same amount of souls you would get if you were to sit back in that one area and grind the same trash tier enemies for like 2 hours. So like, and the boss took you what, 15 minutes? Like it's there if you want it, but it's not really the best thing to do if you want to get over leveled. And plus, if you want to do that type of boring and stale way of just killing the same standard enemies that you can kill, especially at the beginning of the game, it's only going to really over level you for that one area or maybe 2 areas. That next area is going to be way stronger. Like 14 levels is only going to handle you till maybe the 3rd area into the game, and even then, like, depending on where you go, that could either be way too high or right where you need to be. So
yeah, and like I said earlier, you weren't in here when we mentioned it, but mentioned earlier how in Dark Souls is one of those games that gives you way more control than you think you have, depending on not only how long you've been familiar with those type of games, but just if you've played it multiple times, because there are certain spots where you can just skip bosses and just get straight from point A to point B without having to deal with any of the nonsense. And just over leveling in general, I think, is fine, because typically to over level you have to grind anyway, right? Like, Tank, what's better, Dark Souls or Bloodborne? That was light speed. There was no lack of conviction.
Dark
Did you
Dark
ever-
Souls. Dark Souls is great, and the overall hidden stuff that's going on in the world is cool. But the combat in Bloodborne, untouched. I hope they
What
make a
about-
Bloodborne too.
What about Neo?
Neo, same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want me to compare them?
Like, which one would you pick? Neo? Is it Neo?
Yeah, Neo, you had it.
Yeah, Neo or the
There's
Or
Neo.
the Dark Souls.
or Dark
Neo
Souls.
is
If you're
Neo
throwing,
is fine.
I was gonna
I'd
say,
still put. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if he's. Are you just trying to throw out like all of those Dark Souls type games?
Yeah. No, I was just seeing which one he'll pick.
No.
I'd still go Bloodborne, then Dark Souls, and then Neo. Not to say that Neo is.
This man means Sekiro.
Oh, Sekiro. Sekiro is stale. I'm gonna be honest. Sekiro was solid the first few playthroughs, but when you realize that it's just a rhythm game, it's not really that difficult. I don't know why folk were so angry about how difficult the game was. The game plays itself. You can mash the freaking block or the parry button and stop like almost all of the bosses or enemies attacks. Other than those, you can just mash and fight back. And plus, they added a system to where if you just build up the bar high enough, you can take out somebody's entire health bar.
I see.
But what about Ghost of Tsushima?
That's a different thing. I mean, that's more of an action adventure kind of fantasy thing. I mean, it's not difficult, really. I mean, you can literally go to it won't even let you go to the stronger places. You can fight freaking anybody, dog. You can be a one-man army. It don't. It's like Batman. it's like Batman. You can stand in the streets and fight 15,000 people, and still, as long as you're mashing that counter button, and flip over the one dude that tries to run at you, you can beat everybody, bro.
Throw some capes in there, you Gucci.
Yeah, dog.
I am Batman.
That's the thing with Assassin's Creed too, is that eventually it's like you're a one-man army, dog. There's no reason to have these big armies and like, oh my god, we need help. Like, we need help to take down this fort. No, fuck, we don't.
What's an RPG that generally got a bad rep, but you guys love? I don't play bad games, fam.
Sorry, that's good taste.
I'll say mine was RahahThe Story. It's a PS2 game.
FF15. True.
I guess
that's
it's
fair.
We have a bad-
FF15 on this grand scale of Final Fantasy games did get a really bad rap overall.
It did. It still came out as a net plus, but
Yeah.
as far as the history of Final Fantasy, it did get a pretty goofy movie kind of rep.
I would definitely throw in an FF15.
Not
I only played FF15 because it wasn't turn-based. Same, actually.
That's exactly why. Oh man, when we get into Western versus Eastern,
Yeah, we'll get
my
there.
boy.
We'll get there. Hopefully we'll get some more sound out of AJ.
He said, "What was generally a
An RPG that got a overall bad rep, but you liked.
I already said mine.
It's okay, I know, Tank. You only play good games.
no, no." I think honestly, the only one that comes to
Actually,
it's not heavy RPG, but the only one that comes to mind recently. Oh, I know. What's that freaking game? I don't know if it's an RP. I think it's an action third person shooter, but it had RPG elements. I can't count that. Never mind. I was gonna say The Order, 1886.
Ooh.
That game,
Oh dear lord,
that game on paper, bruh, and just playing it was a sad day.
that actual like 5-hour game.
I don't even think it was 5 hours, bro. I think it was like 2.
You can actually beat that game in one sitting, and not even like you're sitting there playing for
But I
a long
loved
time.
it. It was so great playing it during.
The story was short and sweet.
It was so I loved the setting, the look of everything. The combat was decent enough. Putting different like perks on your guns and shit like that. Ooh, that game was so good. But I can just say that it's so trash because the boss fights were terrible, and it was literally a QTE sequence every boss. Like, bruh, that game. But that and probably I was about to give Division a little too much credit,
He about to throw Division in the bug.
You
I
know
was
you
like,
want to. You know you want to, fam.
Don't speak on your favorite game, Division, fam.
Fact, you know you're supposed to. I just got through playing that bug earlier today.
Oh my god, how would you guys feel if they made a Souls game that had a difficulty setting?
That would be
I don't
trash.
think they would.
That would be...
when you realize that games like that are just not, they're difficult, then that's why people love them, but not that punishing. Like when it has certain shit in the game that you can't control, that's what people hate. Like what was that game?
Oh, I also have an answer. Deus Ex Machina, or Deus Ex, I think that's what it's called.
Oh, I remember that game. I didn't play it. I just knew it was bad.
I got the free one.
Yeah, but a Souls with a difficulty setting.
No, it's stupid. Why?
I don't think that. I don't think a
like
Souls
rid of
with
the point of the game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because when I messed around and played a good bit of Dark Souls 1 when it was free, I might have actually followed through and finished it if I wasn't playing Smash so much back then. But from what I played of Dark Souls and from what I watched Kyle play, because I would go over to his place and watch him beat Dark Souls boss and beat a boss and look at it and say, oh dang, that's how you do this? And then turns out it actually wasn't that hard. There was just a trick to it. I feel like the difficulty in Dark Souls is not necessarily that it's straight up hard. Like it's not just like
lack of knowledge.
Yeah, like it's not just like
Puzzle
a bunch of
aspect
bunch of meatheads with a billion health, bullet sponges and stuff like that. It's you have to sit there and think, what am I not doing? What other options do I have to fight this boss? Right? And then once you find that option, it's like, oh shoot, that's how you beat this thing. And then you can find just new ways to.
Then it's just repetition.
Yeah, like you just gotta figure. You have to think about it. It's not really in. It's a more of a mental difficulty than it is anything else, and I think that's what makes Dark Souls such a special game.
Yeah, games like that, folk just need to get over it. Rather those kind of games are difficult, not punishing. Like that, like games that are built around punishing the player. Like I mean by punishing, by saying, what was that game where it was like it was turn based, but you had enemies. I forgot the name of the game. You had enemies that could literally pop up behind your freaking characters and start smacking your characters, and you just couldn't freaking control it.
XCOM?
Like it might have been
like those, like the turn-based games where like when your character dies, like they're just dead. Period. Unless you like restart the game.
Yeah. But I think it was another game. It was a turn-based game where there was enemies that you couldn't even attack or see straight, go behind your characters that you have placed on the field and straight smack your character for their life bar, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to sit there and just take it. There's nothing you can do. Those are the types of games that folk need to be worried about. Stuff that you can't control in a world that you can't really control. It's not up to you. Like, it's just, you sit there, you get shit on. Like, there's nothing you can, and then the walk back to that area is just so freaking long that it's not even it's not even worth it, because some random encounter could happen again. Those are the games you need to worry about.
Games with the most abstract save points, like those are the ones you really have to worry about, because it's like, I'm about to fight this boss, and the last save point I saw was way back over there. I passed by it about 10 minutes ago. So let me see if I can hunt around here, find the save point. Then you get picked off by a sniper that hits you in the head, and you're like, oh my god.
And yeah, those punishing kind of games are the games you should be worried about. Folk were bitching about Cuphead. Like, get the
Cuphead is difficult, but
at
least you don't have to restart.
Exactly. It doesn't put you at it doesn't hit you with stuff that you can't not dodge already. Like, you can dodge almost everything in the game. It gives you the opportunity to dodge everything in the game. You just have to know when to dodge it and how to dodge it. Mm-hmm. But games like that, dog, just, I mean, and even if it is that difficult, try to over level. So let's bring that back. Then you should have leveled up, but dog. Like, maybe that would have helped you get a little bit more health, maybe a bit more damage. You know? Mm-hmm. Maybe that needs to be a thing.
If there's one aspect I love about some RPGs, it's the ones where there's multiple ways through and around any scenario situation, like Prey.
Yeah. Prey is a good example of player choice and player expression. You can go to multiple places. I'm assuming you're talking about that space game where you're fighting alien. I don't know. That's the only Prey I know of. Where you're fighting like the aliens on the... Yeah. I streamed that game.
Mm-hmm.
You can go anywhere and almost everywhere. But, it's player choice. And and the thing is, it's not too difficult that you can't find a way around it.
Like Army of Two. Army of Two was actually pretty good, because all of the possibilities and choices, like, you could spare this guy and he's gonna become this, he's gonna help you later or something, or if you kill this guy, somebody's gonna come after you, or somebody's gonna get hurt or something like that. Like, the direct influence of choices. I like games like that.
Same thing. That's what Dark Souls has too.
Like Mass Effect 2 especially.
You kill certain NPCs in Dark Souls, they will straight invade your world because you killed somebody. Like, you killed the freaking NPC in Orlando? Bet. Now there's a freaking group. Now him and his homeboys are sitting at a boss door waiting for you every time you want to fight this boss.
That's childish. That's childish.
You slain our prince, like, prepare to face the crimes.
Hey, you killed the homeboy, square up.
Yeah.
And with
the queen.
That one song on a Kendrick album. Yeah, you good? You better kill my brother. They're trying to pull up hard, mega hard. All right, now we're up to the big boy. Let's talk about the Western RPGs versus the Eastern RPGs.
I'm gonna take a hard max.
I need a mute face over here to speak on.
Hey, first off,
God.
only reason I was muted is because there's stuff going on, so I don't want to hear the background. But
Start us off.
Eastern versus Western. Man, see, this is it's ironic that Tank is taking the back seat because I feel like he should be talking the most during this. Because, well, at least the thing
I
is,
feel like
it's
I've been
like,
doing a lot of talking. But go ahead.
so it's okay, man. It makes up for all the times that where we don't. There'll be mad times where you take the mad back seat for this.
The times that you don't talk, Tank, that's what he was trying to say. He trying to put you on blast, man. Don't do it.
I didn't say shit, man.
Don't be cute about it. Just go say it out loud.
Yeah.
Anyway, but and Eastern versus Western. The thing is, I feel like I haven't played that many Western RPGs because whenever I think of RPG, my mind immediately goes to JRPGs. That's
You played Skyrim?
No.
Oh my god.
I haven't played Skyrim.
Oh,
I haven't played Fallout.
Are you sure Red Dead is the only one? Oh, there's more than Red Dead.
There's way more than Red Dead.
Destiny is an RPG.
Speaking of Red
there's
Dead,
Witcher.
I haven't played Witcher.
No. Get it? Western.
Shut up.
Ooh, if I knew how to time out.
That was a good one.
Actually,
Go kill yourself.
Just walk into
Nasty.
traffic. Just walk into traffic.
I hope you try to go to sleep tonight and realize your stereo's muted. Because I know that ninja sleeps with music.
Oh
I
man.
hope there's always snow in your driveway. I hope you work on Fridays. That never closes on Fridays. It's always busy on Fridays.
Nasty. Like actually trip over a snail.
But I just always think JRPGs, man. That's like been my bread and butter. That's what I've always focused on. At like both growing up, originally it was to avoid them because I hated, and still to this day really do not enjoy turn-based. I can't stand it. I want, which is, I guess, is was originally the appeal of Western RPGs over JRPGs, but then then Eastern RPGs were like, wait, we got to get rid of
I hate being that guy, but
this turn-based stuff.
Alright, let me tell you something about Skyrim, fam. So there's only so many times you can move one game to system before we're just like, alright, we're done with it. Like this bug came out on what, PS3 and 360?
What, the original Skyrim?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bug came on like PS3, 360, and has survived all the way to the Switch. Get it out.
The same game.
Get it out.
The same game. It's not even like
GTA
DLC.
5 would like a word with you.
Get that out too.
But at least they added stuff. Like
Facts.
at least they're still adding stuff.
They are still adding stuff. But yeah, freaking.
I love turn-based.
I'm a more of a JRP dude myself as well. I play some Western RPGs,
A lot.
but I played almost primarily JRPG. Look, I don't condone them re-releasing it, but I played the OG for around 1,000 hours. I will put 1,000 hours on each version. But got me. I understand wholeheartedly. But yeah, so I love JRPGs. RuneScape has taken 15 years of my life. Oh, you messed up on your own then. It'll take another 15. Oh my god. Well, I'll tell you, it'll take 15 years of your life. League of Legends. But anyway,
Still going.
I love JRPGs a lot. Talking about I mean, let's start with like the differences between typical differences between the Eastern and Western RPGs. Like, it goes a lot with what we talked about earlier, coming from story and combat and stuff like that. I feel like generally Western RPGs have the combat section locked up overall, usually, And I feel like JRPGs have the story aspect locked up.
Ooh.
Like,
I think it's a difference of priority most of the time because like JRPGs, they focus heavily on telling a story across multiple hours with arcs and mad character changes and development, while Western RPGs I feel focus a lot more on on giving the freedom of the player to make their own experience. And Tank right now is holding himself back, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him speak.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I can hear my boys like he's holding on to the ropes.
Oh yeah,
you're shaking the ropes. Tag me in, bro. Tag me in.
Let him speak. I know I'm meek, but the mill's louder.
Let me work. All right. So the fundamental difference between Eastern and Western is kind of obvious on like what if you've been paying attention to the games over the years of JRPGs and just regular RPGs. JRPGs more focused on narrative, like I've said before. They're always the ones that are more focused on putting a player and having them play as a protagonist in a world that they're in, and they play as the protagonist, and they just set certain story pieces in the person's way, and you control them like a puppet. That's how a lot of JRPGs are. You control that main character, and that main character is already kind of set. It's just now you control what they do next. Am I right or am I wrong?
For the most part, yeah.
Right. So now regular RPGs, as far as Western ones, more focused on what AJ just said. They're more focused on player expression and fantasy, which means that they're the ones that put the player and have them sit in a world and build their character up as like whatever they see fit. Right? They're the blood paladin of the third multiplication of the 7th battalion. They're a blood god of the third dragon wind, like Skyrim.
Boy,
right? They're the Western is the place that focused on that. And honestly, that is the reason why JRPGs has kind of fell to the wayside compared to Western RPGs, because they're the ones that focused on overall player expression, fantasy. You build your own main character and put them in that world, and they can make the story that they want. And they just said it. Am I wrong, Aaron?
Yes.
How?
Statistically.
How?
JRPGs fell to the wayside?
Compared to Western RPGs?
JRPGs are... the JRPGs are king still. Like,
you said
Western...
king. What?
King.
Oh, king? No.
Western
JRPGs?
RPGs have just
Witcher
now caught
3,
up.
Skyrim, these games are the freaking... are smacking. And they're still smacking. You know what I mean? And you can see that because they're still releasing Elder Scrolls freaking Skyrim, dog. They're still releasing it. Mass Effect. What? Compared to JRPGs, now don't get me wrong, JRPGs are making a resurgence, but compared to Western is smacking JRPGs because JRPGs are still following that similar format, like Persona. Are you serious right now?
I'll tell you what, Aaron, tell me one JRPG that is bigger than Elder Scrolls.
Persona 5.
No.
Persona 5 is not bigger than Elder Scrolls.
Are you sure about that?
Has Persona 5 been released across 3 different generations of console?
Bruh.
Persona only has been recently released. It hasn't even been out as long.
Oh my god.
Persona 4 was
I think
what?
Skyrim bigger than
released around the
Google.
same time?
Nah, you capping on that one.
Oh, okay, you capping.
Okay. All right, well.
I don't know,
But-
man.
And
But
Western,
It's not bigger than bigger than
but
Elder
here's the
and
thing.
then there's East. Then there's games that were made in the East, RPGs made in the East,
for a Western audience like Dark Souls. And you're gonna tell me that it's not as big as JRPGs is still smacking?
They're definitely still
king?
smacking.
As better than Western RPGs.
Here's the thing. Skyrim definitely is big game, and it's really put Western RPGs on the map. But what about the fourth Elder Scrolls game? How good was that one?
What, Oblivion?
Yeah, how good was that one?
What does that matter?
Because Skyrim's the one game.
No,
how good
is The Witcher?
How was Witcher 2?
You're comparing it to the previous predecessors instead of looking at how great the
Dark
games
Souls
are.
isn't a JRPG though. That's what we're getting at, by the way.
Dark Souls whooping on that nasty. Final Fantasy 15, the most played MMO in the world.
What we talking about, man?
You mean 14? Not 15.
14. 14. Yeah, 14. He said 14.
Oh,
Dark Souls is a JRPG.
It was created in the East for a Western audience.
Yeah, what I mean is not a JRPG, as in it is not an RPG that we've traditionally put in the JRPG category. That would be something like the Tales series or
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest. Those are your traditional
Chrono
JRPGs.
Trigger. Like,
I am before Dark Souls 4 turn-based. Nasty. I don't.
No,
my point in
Dark Souls turn-based.
My point in mentioning the older versions of these games is the fact that Westerns have caught up to JRPGs. JRPGs have always been on and are still on. They've never fallen off. Is my point.
I'm just saying compared to Western, and they have compared to Western RPGs, they have.
I don't think so
because RPGs in the West now have been spread throughout all different types of video games and it's in almost everything now, to the point where even the people who were making stellar JRPGs, like freaking what's that? Didn't Studio Ghibli make an JRPG?
I have no idea. Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, Persona, all household names. Ni no Kuni.
I wouldn't say Ni no Kuni is a household name.
I wouldn't say that either.
Ni no Kuni was given by Tosenpi. I'll give you Witcher. Yeah, Witcher 3 is really, really good.
Solid. Game still smacking.
But name 5 Western RPGs that are really good, that are smacking.
Witcher 3.
Okay.
Still. Diablo 3.
Okay.
Mass Effect.
It just get rebooted.
Your joke.
Not rebooted. Remastered.
I'll give you Mass Effect 2, but not Mass Effect 3.
Or the entire Mass Effect series. Aside from Mass Effect.
If we're talking about the entire Mass Effect series, then it goes down because 1 and 3 drag down 2. Because Mass Effect 3 was not well received.
Fallout.
Fallout's fair.
Okay. Elder Scrolls, more specifically Skyrim.
That's fair.
Deus Ex.
Good?
Yes. It may have fell off at the end, but yes, Deus Ex was
very popular. Very, very popular.
I'll slide it in. JRPG equals Japanese RPG, not turn-based game.
Okay, yes, I agree.
Okay.
Boy,
I think they're...
What the hell over?
Look up where Stormfall is. No. That's not... JRPG
You're
is not a geographical definition. It is a definition of what the game... of how the game is made.
Yeah,
it's a genre. It's not a geographical
Yeah,
like it came from Japan.
For years now, we've just been saying just Japanese RPG because that's what people have gotten used to instead of figuring out actually how to articulate what that really means.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a catch-all phrase that's really to describe a certain style of game.
Yeah.
I would have said Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean,
You can use Google for free.
you can use Google for free.
Well, let me Google
Definitely
JRPG.
And you can Google right now. And speaking of Google, you can Google right now because I just did. JRPGs not as popular. You will see a million freaking things of why are JRPGs not that popular in the West.
Hey, tell him if he can catch these hands too. They also free.
Hey, you just stole that from me.
Hey, relax.
For the purpose of an article, franchise JRPG is defined as a franchise which one is considered a role-playing game by reliable sources and was made in Japan, or two, made in another country, but otherwise the franchise would be difficult to differentiate from a JRPG due to having its common traits found in JRPGs, such as yada yada yada.
It's more fun than character building and world building is so just more fun than following a story that I can't change. Yeah, because it focuses on you making the story for yourself. It's player expression. It's how a player can just jump into a world and say, all right, I'm gonna make my own freaking adventures. I'm gonna do what I want in this freaking world instead of just taking you on a straightaway path of like, all right, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. No matter what you do, this is always going to happen. You can't stray from it. You got to go to that next checkpoint to continue the story. Sorry, bud.
Not the checkpoint. I don't know, man.
JRPGs have fallen to the wayside compared to Western RPGs. And it's apparent because Western RPGs are now every freaking game the Western wants to freaking make nowadays. Everything has RPG elements because it can be stretched upon all these different types of genres made in the West. Now, there are certain companies that are in the East that, like I said before, make those kind of games for the West. But again, they're doing it because the Western games are just that more popular at the moment.
Yeah, because there's a lot of those.
Looking at the lists at the current time, Western RPGs are doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JRPGs were incredible back in the gap.
Back in probably like
back in the gap, yeah, and that whole turn-based combat thing, which they were the ones that were doing it the most. You know, that they were clapping, and they were in a place of their own, and they didn't need to change it up because they essentially focused on narrative, unlike any other game could at the time.
Well, you have Witcher 3, Skyrim, Red Dead 2, Horizon, Dawn, Dying Light. Are you telling me to name 5 that just top them in general, or like current ones that top them?
Name 5 JRPGs that top the ones. I mean,
if you're telling me to just name 5 that top them, period,
is like off the top of my head at the moment. It's like Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Pokemon is just
Pokemon
is straight up more popular than literally all of those games.
Yeah.
They just now get into a part where they're making Pokemon not turn-based in this new game.
Oh yeah, they're
doing something interesting. Very interesting.
And they've been doing turn-based since for like 10 years, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
Like,
and I hate turn-based combat. I hate the strong word. I strongly dislike.
I hate it.
I love it.
And oftentimes it's very, 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 very limited.
I gotta find the unique game with turn-based combat. when I like turn-based combat is when it's got to be some other thing keeping me attached to the game, like hardcore, like South Park, the Stick of Truth.
We have to, I don't know. We have to decide what definition we're using for. Oh, go ahead, H.
Oh no, because Tank is right. Because I didn't like turn-based either, but it was one specific game that made me like turn-based. So I get you, and that was Final Fantasy X. Because until that, I was like, I played it and I was like, I got bored, keep on going. But Final Fantasy X was the one that I just like, it stuck with me, and I just played the mess out of that.
Is that the one with Snow?
No,
that's the one with Titus.
Dang. I keep asking that because that's what Houston always used to bring up.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah, your character looked like Snow from that one Final Fantasy game." I was like, "Who's Snow?"
That is the hero.
Yeah.
Let's go Final Fantasy 15. I mean Final Fantasy 10. What the hell?
Yeah.
There's still some popular RPGs I think they were made in the West. I don't know. Baldur's Gate. I never played it, but
it's very interesting.
That's not like a game where you just build games.
So we're using the definition for JRPG as basically an anime-based game.
Essentially, yeah.
Because that's what it really depends with. Because the hard definition is literally an RPG made by Japanese developers. In which case, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and all that would count.
Yeah.
Unless we're used to the other term.
I don't. That's the traditional way we have used to describe JRPGs.
It's like the term shoto in fighting games. Like we use to describe characters that actually have nothing to do with why they're supposed to be called shotos, or just in general a misunderstanding of what actually is of a certain genre. So it all depends on whether we're using the book definition of JRPG or the understood version of JRPG.
Well, it's this. What did you mean? Whenever you said Western versus Eastern, what did you mean?
Well, where they were made.
Well, there you go. I guess that's the definition we're using.
Oh, dude, if that's where they were made, then it'll be a different story then.
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, man.
When I say JRPGs, I'm talking about an anime game, not the hardcore definition of where it was actually made. Because if that's the case, that'll be a whole different ball game.
When I said Western, that's why I specifically said Western versus Eastern was where they were made.
Mm-hmm. The Western style is more of, like Tank said, expression, versus JRPG is more of an anime.
Because when I'm still specifically saying, right. Oh, go ahead, Tank.
No, you got it.
I was gonna say when I'm specifically saying when I say JRPGs specifically, I still use it as a catch-all for basically anime-based games. But Western versus Eastern is a whole nother section entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So for the purpose of the conversation, Tank, you would still be right. I would still be right in saying, and accurate in saying that Western RPGs are covering JRPGs. However, if we change it from JRPGs to Eastern, just Eastern RPGs in general, then there will be an entirely different conversation. I'd say they would be equal in that regard. Because I would give them access to Pokemon, give them access to Dark Souls, stuff like Dragon Quest, the Persona series. Man, I wish I could use Digimon in a conversation, but it's just not as good. I really wish I could use Digimon. I really wish I could use Digimon. It's too bad it's not good.
But yeah.
Not even a Cyber Sleuth or whatever.
I don't. Let me see what it's rated actually. Yeah, if anything, Western RPGs have fallen off. What makes you say that?
Y'all gotta tell me more.
Bethesda and BioWare have been dropping stinkers for a minute now. True.
Yeah. No.
That is technically true. Oh shoot, that has really good ratings.
I thought Cyber Sleuth was received pretty well.
Looks like it. I don't know how well it was. The only reason I didn't put it up there personally is because, well, I guess it's because I'm comparing it to Pokemon immediately, but they would still count in the JRPG section or the Eastern section in general.
What?
Talk
What's
about
happening?
Digimon.
Oh, what about it?
It's pretty good.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. The great Fallout 76 and Andromeda. Oh no.
Now,
Mass Effect Andromeda?
yeah.
Oh, no.
I forgot. That's how bad that game was. I forgot it existed.
Fallout
Oh,
76.
Andromeda?
Yes.
Oh, man.
God.
Bro,
No.
let me tell you something. I borrowed that game from freaking Token.
Why?
Then it said, "Oh, you want to play this game? Oh, you can have it, dog." I said, "Okay." He said, "I tried to sell it to GameStop, they wouldn't take it." I said, "Oh, man,
And they do. They
That's-
don't get a return on that investment.
that is the latest Mass Effect." Also, so
That's a oof.
jeez,
That's a oof right there.
Jeez. Jeez.
That part was funny. He said, "You can have it." So wait a damn minute now, Fred.
I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna play. I want to see if it's actually that bad.
I don't want no giving away game now.
Western RPGs playing catch up and lost even that. That's not even true. JRPGs stole their flow. Now you got it flipped, big dog.
He's talking specifically of Dark
Yeah,
Souls, I
Dark
guess.
Souls specifically.
Dark Souls and Bloodborne and that
Yeah.
sort. Which if that's the case, technically
But
they
what-
did.
Yeah, it was made in the East, but it was specifically for a Western audience since their combat differed from the regular standard RPG JRPG tropes.
Well, yeah, but I think that's what he's saying, right? Like
They stole their flow
they stole
and did it
their-
better.
Yeah.
They realized that shit wasn't
He hit
smacking
him,
like
he
it
hit
used
him
to
with
be.
that he hit him with that Soldier Boy. They copied my whole fucking flow.
Yeah, they freaking
Flow.
realized this just getting stale, dog. Seemed like folk really buying the hell out these other games. I mean, what's the point in making another goddamn freaking Dragon Quest?
People love Dragon Quest apparently.
They do. And Dragon Quest has its own audience.
There are a lot of JRPGs that I didn't realize were
Chrono
as big
Trigger?
as they are.
That's a standard JRPG. Final Fantasy standard JRPG.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me actually check this.
JRPGs can't have fallen off when the two most looked forward to what?
Or
Again-
Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild.
I can't say that those are the standard JRPG tropes
Yeah,
when they
but
are
I
made
guess-
for Western audiences. Elden Ring is just like
using
Dark
the,
Souls.
we're just using the geographical place they were made, but that's not how I would. It's not how I would
Eastern.
the argument. but-
No,
In the
I'd
Eastern
say-
versus Western conversation, like I said, that would definitely apply. It's super.
When I say
Jefferson remake,
JRPG, I mean when the differences I stated before, when you are placed in a world where you are given a main character to control and a team of people to like, just like freaking Persona, right? Like that's when you're given or Final Fantasy, when you're given a main character to control and just guide through the freaking world. But when you're comparing that to like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, it's a Western style, even though it was made in the East. Like you're given this character that you can build up however you want. And it's just like how, for example, Skyrim, when you are just told to make this character whatever you want, however you want to build them up. It's you go into the world, do what you want. It's not specific. JRPGs are the specific ones that give you a story and narrative to play through certain story or narrative set pieces throughout the game. That's what I would say a JRPG is.
I'd still say, I'll still, based on numbers, I would still say Persona 5 is bigger than Skyrim right now.
You are smoking penis. What are you talking about?
Let me put it in perspective for you though. Skyrim has been a game since 2011.
Okay.
And as of right now, it has sold a little over 30 million copies. Persona 5 has been a game for about 2 or 3 years.
Skyrim sold 30 million copies?
According to the numbers that I just saw.
That I feel like it sold 30 million copies on the 1 year it was out.
Let's check again.
Or at least one of the re-releases. 30 million copies.
Okay,
now?
this was. Whoa! What the heck?
Yeah, Chloe.
Games like
Fallout
Minecraft?
Shelter, 150 million. Holy crap!
Fallout Shelter is that mobile game, isn't it?
I don't know, but it sold 150 freaking.
It sold 100 million?
150 million.
No shot. Skyrim is behind that.
Skyrim is behind that.
No shot.
What are we talking about?
Skyrim selling less than a mobile game?
Yes, that could happen.
It is a mobile game.
No, they can't, because actually, dude, mobile games is actually the biggest market. Like it is actually the most popular in every region. Like it's actually blowing console gaming out of the water. We may not think it because, a lot of us come from, console backgrounds, but no, like mobile gaming is actually ridiculous. That's why so many companies are moving to it.
Ew.
You get more money that way.
And them gotchas. Gotcha.
Oh,
Let me present to you this conveniently free game that you don't have to pay anything for. Then throw a bunch of clean ass looking units at you that if you want to guarantee you get them, you got to spend the money for about 120 summons.
GTA 5.
Dang,
yeah.
you just paid you spent a whole game's worth of money
5.
just to get a unit. Oh, bet. Let's keep throwing these mugs out there then. It is so easy to spoon these ninjas along,
You
bruh.
said Wii Sports? Hell no. Wii Sports?
I believe it.
Popular, but it's...
Wii Sports was also free.
Actually, Wii Sports was also free, and the Wii was the best-selling console of all time for a while. Every single one of them things came with Wii Sports.
It did. I have them.
Okay. Skyrim sold. Skyrim was released in.
I also got to factor in like how many people just downloaded that junk on PC and throughout multiple consoles. Shisha run.
And 26. This is the best I can do. It looks like I'm not getting any super hard numbers. From 2011 to at the
Oh.
latest 2016, the game had sold over 30 million copies.
Foos Road,
That's
dog.
that's 5 years. Persona has sold 15 million copies in 2 years.
Foos Road, dog.
I think it's on track. I wish Nier did better among more people. It's the replayability. Skyrim has a lot of that.
You know what's crazy?
I think it's the modding.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, the
modding.
mods have definitely kept them.
I think PC is where Dark Souls is at home, so people can mess with that.
Boy. Oh, boy.
Like I said before, if we're using, depends on how we're using JRPG. By book definition, traditional definition, you'd be right in saying JRPGs crush Western. Well, not even crush. I'd say they're just above. It's just Western are starting to slow down with the releases, while Mass Effect up to 3 is still a respectable series. Then you get Andromeda dragging it to the floor. And then the same thing with Fallout 76 dragging things to the floor. But
Still got Fallout 4 in New Vegas. Well, less of Fallout 4, but you know.
that's neither here or there, you know what I'm saying? Just sweep it under the rug.
You know, but New Vegas was great.
Yeah. But I'd say it's more the, at least to the understood public, most people would not just immediately say Dark Souls is a JRPG. Like, yes, it was definitely made as, like I said, for the Eastern versus Western argument. Yes, Eastern game crushing the competition. But like, if I go and look up Dark Souls, that one of those first sentences in the description aren't going to be Dark Souls is a JRPG made by, like, it's not gonna say that.
I was gonna say like freaking fantasy, freaking solo sword fighter. I don't know.
But I would give it the advantage to Eastern if we count all the stuff that is actually made in the East, because they are really doing they is, and I'm proud of them. But with all that rubble rousing, let's get to some mean opinions. But before we fully get into the opinions, I want to introduce to you a concept commercial created by my boy Tank. Tank, what's the concept?
This stream is brought to you by
No.
water.
God dang it! Wrong concept.
What's that on?
The opinion concept.
Oh, play who you want.
Yeah.
Play who you want. It's all good.
Just play who you want.
Just play who you want.
So now let's get into these favorites, though. So. Oh, actually, I do need to backtrack once. So, even if we're not talking about present day, who do you think overall, like through the weathering of time, has the advantage? The Western or the JRPGs?
Weathering over time.
Like across
If
time, overall.
You said what you said before? If we're gonna go by what?
If we go like the understood definition of JRPG, not the book.
Just strictly region, and that's it.
No, the understood definition, like the actual anime-ish stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like we're talking about that
Western.
across all of time.
I'd have to go. Yeah, I'd have to go Western.
Because now you have to deal with the ones that actually hit home.
If I was to go by the definition that I've stated, Western. Some of the oldest games that I passionately love playing, I can still go back and play, like Dark Souls. And it's still, and plus, bro, the player expression is so great of a realm to experiment video games in. Like games like Breath of the Wild. Goodness gracious, dog. There are hundreds of hours to just do whatever, bro.
Breath of the Wild is JRPG. Now that game specifically, I would have automatically assumed it's a JRPG.
Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a Western.
It's cartoony as fuck.
Yeah, but again, if I was going by the definition that I stated, like I'm Breath of the Wild, bro.
Because think about the difference between having your character with your definition in being Dark Souls, like the pure player expression.
Weird.
With Breath of the Wild or any of Legend of Zelda game for that matter, you're always Link.
True.
So I would have easily put that in JRPG, and then Pokemon.
But the overall expression of the game, like that's the whole in a world, play who you want. There's still a main quest, but like there's no specific direction. It's not a set story beat of narrative. Like it's not a set thing that you play through constantly or play through just to get to the end. Like it doesn't take you on this specific path. Like, bruh. I'd still say Dark Souls, dog. For me, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I would have to go. I would easily have to go Eastern, because you can honestly, I don't even have to use the Final Fantasies or anything like that. I can literally just use Pokemon, and it tops literally all of the Western games by itself. Like as a franchise, like the sheer number that Pokemon on its own has put out is way too high.
Also, I forgot to bring this up during the flaws of RPGs, or I guess I kind of stopped talking about it since we were going to talk about Eastern versus Western.
Go ahead with the remix.
Yeah,
Echo.
it's a problem I have in a lot of those kind of games are random encounters.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dark Souls linear? Hell no. You can legit fight the second to last boss in like the first 15 minutes of the game. Depending on what Dark Souls you're talking about. In Dark Souls 2, you can go to the big bad boss.
the debate. Y'all childish. Alright, the short answer is no.
No, it's not.
Like I said, you could choose to fight everything. You could.
Yes, left or right.
I mean, by that definition, every single game is linear.
Yeah, fact.
Like
straight lines exist.
Like in every single scenario, it doesn't matter what game you play. You're always going to have to start a certain way, and you're always going to have to end a certain way to get the true ending. Like it's designed that way.
That brother said nah.
To me, it's either open world or linear. Dark Souls is open world.
Even well, yeah, You can probably define it as open world. Even and if you want to compare it to other games like bigger open world games like say
Breath of the Wild.
Assassin's Creed, if by that definition it's still linear. You still got to walk to the freaking mission to get to in a straight line to get to the next mission, right?
Got him.
Get it.
When I think open world, I think Skyrim, Dark
Again,
Souls.
you still have to walk to the certain person in a straight line to get to the next person to talk to finish the story in Skyrim, right?
Fact, Skyrim, I still have to learn this certain ability.
Right? Like, it's still...
So sound pretty linear to me, right?
Right, if that's the case. Dark Souls doesn't remind me of that at all.
But you can go anywhere. You can even go off-road.
Exactly. You can go off-road in Skyrim, too.
Uh-huh. You can do that in Dark Souls.
I think you're thinking a little too broad. I think it's...
It sounds like your definition of open world is you having, I'll say, 90% complete control. Because the 10% is literally starting the game and actually being able to beat the game in totality. So I'd say at max you can only really give a player about 90% control.
Like I'd say The Last of Us is linear.
Yeah.
Definitely linear.
Definitely. Yeah. There's a very specific way you're supposed to go through the story.
But because it will stop you if it can't progress. It won't function if you don't go forward. But you can start off Dark Souls or Skyrim literally murking an entire village and not even starting the first quest. Like you can go to the most ridiculous enemies in the world without even starting the second mission. Like it's about player freedom and what they can do to play the game.
He said, I like games that reward exploring things off path, but the Souls games going off path is just another path that isn't the direction of the main quest.
Not true. You can still get to the main quest, not even fighting some of the bosses. There's different paths you can take. You can get in Dark Souls 1, there's souls you need to unlock to continue to go to the rest of the game. There's I think it's the old souls, and you gotta collect them all before you can fight the big bad Gwyn,
Lord of Cinder.
Yeah, but you can, it very clearly says you gotta go here. You gotta fight the gargoyles of the Belfry Tower. Then you gotta go to Sin's Fortress, and then you gotta go to Hell, and then you gotta get hits. But you can legit go and get one of the. You can go get actually 3 of the old souls and fight Quelaag instead of exactly. There you go. You might die a lot. In fact, it's not linear the way you do it.
This is I can go through Whiterun and walk in a random forest and stumble upon a cave, but you can't do that in Dark Souls.
You can stumble upon a cave. What are you talking about? In Dark Souls 1, you can literally go into a cave that takes you to a whole different realm and not even know what the fuck is going on.
No, I mean...
What do you mean?
Skyrim has roads.
So now we talking about roads now? I'm not...
You can go off the road.
Okay. You're right.
In Souls...
You're right. There aren't any roads.
You just take another road.
What? You just take another road. In Skyrim, you just... Okay, hold on.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm trying to see what you're
saying. So what you're trying to say is that in Skyrim, you can just play and be doing stuff.
Right.
But in Dark Souls, you can't just play. You have to be doing stuff. Like,
But you can though. Like, you can go fight an in-game boss at the beginning, bro. Like, you don't need to take the straight path. You may think that in the beginning. Boundaries. Okay, I think I'm starting to see what you're saying. Okay. I think I'm starting to get what you're saying. Yeah, okay. You can't just walk off a cliff and go anywhere. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't consider that linear, but I suppose. I see what you're saying.
at the end of the day, there's still a limit to how far you can go.
But yeah, facts. Like, there's still the world of Skyrim isn't infinite. There's still a wall, if that's the case. I mean, I think you're now finding the difference between an actual open world and a non-open world.
I still wouldn't say Dark Souls is linear.
I wouldn't say it's linear.
I would just say it's not open world.
Yeah.
Because in a way, you could say that. You
can say Persona is open world.
Persona?
If that's the case. You can't go everywhere, but you can go to multiple places, right?
Yeah. There's limitations, though.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's certain places you can't go. I
get what you're saying now.
What he's saying is it's not completely open world.
Yeah,
like I can't just go everywhere.
You can't just go fucking up.
It's the difference between being able to go anywhere and being able to go everywhere.
Yeah,
I could go anywhere, but there's still areas that I can't really access. But if I can go everywhere, even if this has nothing to do with the mission, I can still go over here. Like, even if this has absolutely no purpose to the story, I can still go to this town just cause.
Well, he said my wife and I started to debate when one of the JRPG aspects of Souls is that it's linear. When I said that one of the JRPG aspects of Souls is that it's kinda linear.
When you say that specifically, I can say that. I can see that.
Now that I know what you're saying, I can see why. I can see that.
It is kind of linear. It has more options than a straight line path, but it does have some linear aspects.
But the difference is still how well the player can express their ways of playing the game. I'd still say that, as far as that not being linear, because a player can still go wherever they want. And I bring up Last of Us again because I just can't go backwards when I'm at a part of the story. Like, I can't just go back home. Like, I can't do that. But I can do that in Dark Souls. If I'm in Sin's Fortress, I can go to a bonfire and port back home. If I am in the middle of a gunfight in Last of Us, I can't just put down my gun and straight go back home. I can't do that.
You asked me if I thought Final Fantasy 15 was linear, and I said yes, but not as linear as Souls.
That's open world. That's open world.
I agree.
That's.
I think 15 is just straight up open. No,
it's just no. There's still linear stuff in it. There's linear stuff.
It has some linear. It's kind of linear, but it's the general sense of open world.
It is pretty.
Because once you beat certain bosses, there are areas you can't go back to. But you can just go back to this town and screw around. Or this other town and screw around. See these people.
I think we're realizing that, first off, I love video games. I love that you can have this goddamn conversation with a motherfucking type of medium. I think this is really great. Awesome.
Boy.
Sorry, I had to pull out of AJ real quick.
Nasty.
It's
Souls
it's
equals
linear
kinda
to an
linear.
extent.
And
It's linear to an extent. Not everything, and though in video games, not everything is linear. Certain things need to be linear for you to progress, but not everything is linear. Like I would still say to progress in Final Fantasy 15, that path is linear. But if you just want to make a freaking stronger sword, that is not linear. You can do that in multiple ways in 15. You can just go find a sword that's better. And that's not linear. Because there's multiple ways to get stronger swords.
yeah.
So it's linear sometimes. In certain aspects, it's linear. To complete the main story, that is linear. But to just be in the world and do what everything else you want to do in the game, that is not linear.
Like if you're saying it's kind of linear, yeah, I get it. Or kind of open world, yeah, I get that too.
Is there certain places I guess.
In
I mean, the
FF15?
world isn't infinite.
In FF15?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
there's places you can't go.
Like is it certain bosses after you beat? Like you can't just go back into a boss's den.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand what you're coming from.
Okay.
If you're saying like it's completely linear, then I would be like, nah. But like kind of, yeah, it definitely has some of that.
That's what's so great about video games is that it can be linear but not linear at the same time. Depends on what you want to do, you know?
All right. So I got two more. One I'm gonna throw in. No, actually, no, I'm not. So, favorite RPG.
Kingdom Hearts 2. There is no other answer.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why though? Why though?
I mean, Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty incredible, you know?
It's pretty incredibly trash. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, first off, I didn't know you wanted to die
wait,
today.
wait,
I didn't know that was
Hey, man,
Let her
I
shoot,
don't
let her
really
shoot,
believe that, man. I'm just saying.
Shoot.
I shoot niggas for less.
Oh Lord.
Also, before we continue, I want to give some honorable mentions. Undertale.
Joe Mama.
Okay. Monster Hunter World.
Man, it's still crazy. I don't consider that an RPG, but I guess in every sense of the word, it kind of is.
It has mainly RPG elements. There is an inventory system with crafting. There's a main quest and side quest.
You talking about
And
Undertale?
there's
Or...
character evolution.
No, he's
in
talking about Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Playing that, I never considered it as an RPG, but it is. I don't know what I considered it to be.
A monster fighter. Yeah. Stardew Valley. What a game. Dragon Age. Inquisition. I love that game. It's a great game. Infinity
Yep.
Original Sin.
The first thing it says when you look up Monster Hunter. Where's it at?
I don't know why.
There it is.
I never considered it.
Monster Hunter games are action role-playing games.
He said y'all like Goofy.
Oh yeah, Goofy movie, fam.
This dude random.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this dude's random.
You can do that?
We can do that. Oh man, what? Why is he even doing that? Oh, this dude a bot.
You do low forward on wake up.
Oh, you random. Shout out Spunk. Funny AF.
Oh nah, this
Shout out
dude-
to Punk for freaking slapping up the Dragon Ball Fighters community.
He just
bro.
had to go.
Hey.
Revive
Did you
the
see it?
whole community, bro.
Yeah.
I
Did you
didn't
see
see
Tank?
it, dog, but
Yes.
I tagged you in Twitter. Go look at it.
I'll take a look at that.
Demo
Man,
was
shout out to
funny.
One dude, to one dude resin a whole community.
That's
Fact.
what I'm talking about, bro.
Best thing that ever happened for Dragon Ball Fighters was
Bruh.
Wait,
let me tell you
wait,
something.
wait.
Punk
Nope.
is the-
Wait, nope. Wait, nope. We can do it. We can do a mic test for it. We can do a mic test for
Yeah,
it.
sorry, I'm getting off top.
H, what's your favorite RPG? Kingdom Hearts 2. Alright, Tank.
Well, you better let my nigga H answer.
Yeah, for the most part, it's Kingdom Hearts 2.
What I
Honorable
say?
mention, writing out a story in Star Ocean Till the End of Time.
What I say? I called it, bro. I super called it. I'm just a genius like that, bro. Yes, sir. And everybody knows my favorite RPG. Or maybe I don't know.
Yeah, something about that My Little Pony adventure really be sending you, dog.
Alright, so
What?
you woke up today and chose violence.
What?
You chose all of the violence.
Woke up today and chose violence.
All of the violence.
That's what you had told. That's what you told me when we were
You
doing.
chose so
when
much
we were doing
violence.
The,
No, shut up.
the freaking, the thing.
No, shut up.
Mad, bro.
When we was doing the dress rehearsal yesterday, that's what you said.
Alright, I'm sending him to the shadow realm.
Yeah.
Alright, it's free. But the correct answer is Mir.
Oh yeah, Mir Armada.
Near Automata.
Not near Armada.
Oh my bad, I said Mir, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Solid game.
Nier and honorable mentions Replicant, because I love Replicant, and Persona 5.
I was close.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put any honorable mentions in mine, but I guess that would be
Ah, yes.
yes.
Sex appeal RPGs. Yeah, Joker's pretty sexy, fam.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I don't like the way this is going.
Y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah, I support it. You do you, Aaron.
I don't want to
Honorable-
do it. I can't shadow clone jutsu.
Oh my god.
Anyway, honorable mentions.
Quit while you were ahead.
I was
Monster
talking
Hunter.
about Nier.
Monster Hunter. Actually, now I don't know if it. Well, has anybody here played Rise besides me?
Used to.
Yeah, I played against the Rise yesterday.
Oh,
And League of Legends, you know.
I right clicked your name. I can't disconnect you here.
oh. Man. Actually, for some reason, I can't think of that many RPGs.
But yeah, I
Kingdom
did
Hearts.
as well.
I'm finna hop off.
Oh, yeah,
and have
you
a
did
good night. You have a good night too, Toad Senpai. Stop playing Ganon. He's bad.
Down.
Wow.
He gotta play Smash again first.
True.
That's a Valorant player now.
It's true.
Oh no, Apex player. Sorry.
You
Hey,
play
hop-
Minecraft?
Hey, hop on League, fam. We need you to carry Tank.
Oh,
you were saying.
anyway.
Ooh, Damien needs to be Damien. They both play Trundle.
Oh no, they'll get pissed off at each other. They'll get pissed off at each other. That boy Toad Senpai, he ganks top, and then, well, I guess Damien might still. Yeah, actually, never mind. They might like each other.
He'll be happy the moment he goes top.
Right? You played Star Wars: The Old Republic, right?
Who, me?
Who?
AJ?
Oh,
Ah, damn.
Did a little bit of it.
You play
That wasn't
Minecraft?
huh? Nope.
I played Minecraft for a little bit, then I decided this game sucks.
I don't do well in those types of sandbox games.
Awkward silent. Got him. But alright. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming.
Alright, I'll catch you tomorrow, Gloom.
What the flip?
Bye.
Alright, later. Oh, why specifically AJ? What's up with that? That's some bull stuff,
I'm
man.
gonna say bye anyway. Bye.
Only AJ? That's nasty, man. God, dog, I thought we was cool.
In that split moment, my name was AJ too. Bye.
Damn. Why everybody taking my name, bruh?
No, your name Mud now.
Bud.
Well.
Alright, I would like to thank each and every one of you who came out for the riveting conversations. Shout outs to my homies. Man, hottest topic today was the East versus the West. That was the most riveting topic today. That was pretty fun.
We talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Talking about basketball.
You know, Eastern Conference, West Conference.
Oh yeah, yes, thirsty.
But yeah, this talk will be on the YT. You feel me? So
Hey.
if you haven't already followed this channel, follow it now because I said so. Plox. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you already know what to do. You know what the sequence is. I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe, and turn the post notifications on so you can find out when you get some more of this juice. You feel me?
Hey.
But until the next time,
that bell.
Bring that on.
what?
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, peace.
ここではない。